Ladies and gentlemen, previous speakers have already explained very well what happens with 7 or 9 billion people and our way of life, our patterns of consumption. I will not repeat that. What I'm going to speak about is a tale of uncertainties. What the uncertainties of what a government can do, what a policymaker can do to reduce our ecological footprint and to promote the transition to a more resource efficient or ultimately a sustainable economy. And I must start with somewhere around 7 years ago. We realized that our Netherlands economy is already doing quite well, with 82% of recycling. Well, let's say recycling also through incineration with energy recuperation, but still, it is recycling according to the international standards. So we are close to a circular economy. Is that true? Not, of course. Our ecological footprint is 3 times the land surface of the Netherlands, so we're far away from a sustainable economy. That brought us to the question, what are we doing wrong then? Where are our major problems? So we commissioned a study in identifying the major material chains, which are the major material imports and use that are environmentally burdening. Environmentally burdening, I want to emphasize that, because that is what my ministry is concerned about, not the scarcity. Discussion whether there is scarcity or not, we will not go into that. It might be just an economic aspect, but environmentally burdening and sharing fair of world resources, that is an issue that my ministry wants to be concerned for. So we asked this commission, this study, and a number of 15 different materials came out with the most impressive environmentally adverse effects, including of food, agriculture, wood, paper, steel, construction materials, etc. And that was the start for a first approach for a program of chain management. We asked stakeholders in these material chains to consider what they are doing now and how could they improve on their total environmental performance in the abiotic and in the abiotic material chains. Some nice business cases came out, like fibers from jean trousers being reused. Even a business case running of leasing jeans trousers. The same with food and paper. And we could conclude, well, new business cases are possible. It does float in economy, and new markets are coming up. But we also realized after some time that only the front runners are being addressed. Only the front runners dare to do something, and those are scarce, these front runners. We had to reconsider. And then came the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, the Circular Economy report, promising us a bright future. Enormous perspectives and potential in economy for growth of recycling, closing the circles, and enormous economic perspective also. So we thought, what are we doing wrong? There must be something wrong. We will ask Dutch research institution, TNO, to do a study for us, and to do this study on the circular economy, the perspectives, the potential of the circular economy for the Dutch economy. And we asked TNO to do that for 2 sectors, 2 major material streams: bio-based waste, feedstock, and the metal electro. Obviously, in the metal electro, there's a lot of service providing, so they also took a look at the service sectors. First, a few words about the boundaries of circular economy. You can assume a total 100% recirculation. But then we have to accept that there are a number of technical and economic boundaries. Then there is also the current 82% of recycling. And that's a good starting position, but what would we do to raise that under green boundary towards the upper green boundary? And that is what are the real opportunities of a circular economy. This graph represents the current accumulative value, economic value in the bio-waste material stream. 3.5 billion euros per year. Current recycling, reusing, remanufacturing. Mostly the costs are in the household waste, and on the right side of the graph, in the area of the second generation biodiesel, there is already quite a lot of economic value generated. By applying current technologies, not new technologies, but applying current technologies to a better extent and creating the right framework conditions, of course, there is an additional accumulative value possible of 1 billion euros per year, mainly in the cattle slurry, sugar beet waste, sewage sludge. I will not go into the details. There is an investment required, of course, 4 to 8 billion euros. But the additional value of 1 billion euros a year to an investment of 4 to 8 billion euros a year, that starts to become an interesting business case. The same TNO studied this for the metal electro. Current cumulative value in economy of recycling and reuse of 3.3 billion euros per year. They asked some experts and stakeholders, what could you do to improve that current recycling? We already have 82%. What can you do to improve on that? Obviously, the experts started with saying rising prices of virgin materials will help. Definitely, that's true. We can very difficultly influence that, but yeah, it's true. We can reconsider competing waste disposal. Like I told you, like the Netherlands has done, is incinerating a lot. There are more possibilities. The additional value is almost 1 billion euros per year when introducing proper technologies, current known technologies. Extrapolating that to the entire Dutch economy, that makes an impressive 7.3 billion euros of potential additional value and 54,000 jobs. Not immediately, but over a period of a few years. External effects are impressive as well. CO2 emissions reduction, 10%. 20% industrial use of fresh water reduction, 25% of Netherlands goods imports. And obviously on indirect economic effects, the economy presents itself more resilient for future. And there are a number of barriers. I will not go into all of them, but obviously the framework conditions need to be set right, and culture change in companies. What can government do? Start, of course, with a proper strategy, increase the knowledge, and support frontrunners. This is the start of a policy program from waste to resource. We will be addressing the recyclers for raising that 82% to a higher level, but we will also be addressing the manufacturers for a more sustainable products in the market, and the consumer policy for promoting more sustainable use. In the program, we will ask recyclers to enhance their performance of the quality and the quantity of recycling chains, and raise the demand for recycling materials in consultation with the manufacturers, of course. We will ask manufacturers to bring more sustainable products to the market and increase demand. The consumer part is obvious. Less pillage, more repairs, and more reuse. That is what we submitted to Parliament with the report that TNO produced, and a number of concrete activities that can be started immediately. Chairman, we know that we have not the answers. There are still a lot of uncertainties, but one thing that this report has shown us is that we do not have to wait for joint and harmonized action at the European level. We can do things on our own. We also know that the circular economy is not the answer to everything. Sometimes paradigm changes, redesign, reinventing the way that we supply the needs of society are necessary.